Starring Becca Sheets, Kaylyn Newell, Carmie, Midnight, Kat, Deanna de Keizjer, Hazel Campbell, and Matthew Wellen. Absurdity Ascents is written by Emerson Arriety and narrated by Bean.
It is the wee hours of the morning, and Dallas is clinging to her sister as they sleep. London groans and grabs her shoulder, shaking Dallas and waking her up. London whimpers and the two sit up.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I must have slept wrong or something.
When did you injure your shoulder? Do you remember?
She wasn't able to immediately recall the answer.
Yesterday. It was yesterday! I was stabbed in the shoulder by a spirit named Sarah. 2 days ago I remembered how to create a spaceship, but now I still can't. You need to jog my memory.
Dallas flies her hands in front of London, mimicking spaceship sounds. Whoosh! London slaps her hands away and glares at her.
Alright. We gotta raise the stakes, I think. I would have never remembered anything if that spirit wasn't trying to kill you.
How is the destruction of my reality not big enough stakes?
It ain't personal enough, though.
That's a brilliant idea, Dallas. We'll make it more personal than the destruction of the place where I and everyone I love lives. Why don't you know any of this?
Why should I? It was written in a manual for Lydia to read.
Fair enough.
What are we gonna do?
The only other way to get a spaceship would be to nick one.
Steal a spaceship? From where?
I don't know. What else could we do?
We could always jog your memory.
London falls back onto her pillow.
We should try some more, I suppose. But really, I think we'd be better off just nicking a ship.
You know, the Universal Council is several light years away from the Earth. There's no way we could steal a spaceship good enough to get us there.
What if we got one from the future? If Lydia makes another black hole, I'm sure we could find a spaceship good enough to take us to the Universal Council. No, I think someone would get stuck in the wrong timeline again. Then there's the whole breaking into the future NASA thing.
An alien spaceship.
Ever the non-believer, London groans.
No, Dallas.
No Dallas nothing. There are bound to be plenty of alien ships on Earth already.
No, there are not.
You said so yourself that anything was possible.
Yes, anything is possible. That doesn't make everything plausible. The universe is simply too massive for there not to be any aliens. But that doesn't mean they came here already.
Let's ask Demo. She's bound to know.
Demo stands in front of the living room mirror. A top hat sits atop red hair, covering her antenna. A scarf conceals her speaker, and a glove covers her robotic arm.
This is hot.
She tugs at the turtleneck, which is making it impossible to tell that her neck was made of metal. She asks Bexs,
Is anyone really going to buy this?
I think so.
If you say so.
I rented a moving truck for the day.
You rented a moving truck? Bexs, this is really too much.
It's not too much. I don't want anyone moving the bed in here the way the house is. Besides, we need a vehicle strong enough to transport you.
Sorry for being so inconveniently fat. I know I weigh a metric ton, but you could be more subtle about it. Gosh.
Sorry.
The duo set out to buy furniture for Demo. Furniture which, in actuality, is far too weak to support Demo's immense weight, but you're being asked to just accept this and listen as they stroll through the paint aisle.
You don't have to paint my room.
This is the perfect time to paint your room, before we get to your bed and other furnitures.
But the color's fine the way it is.
Nonsense. Your room should be more colorful.
Demo picks up a can of white paint.
This only makes a difference of 31 all across. It's not really necessary.
What? No?
Naturally, Bexs is confused by this statement. She takes the can and puts it back.
White isn't colorful, at all. Pick something else, like purple or pink.
But you said something more colorful just a moment ago. This is 255, 255, 255. There's nothing more colorful than it.
Is that how you see colors? As numbers?
Don't you?
I see colors as light. I don't want to get all technical or whatever, but it's basically just light. If white is the most colorful, we'll paint the whole room white.
The housemates return home with a truck full of furniture and paint cans. Demo carries the mattress inside.
Could have just left it in the trunk with the rest of the furniture. It's fine, just drop it here for now.
Demo places the mattress on the floor, and shortly after, the doorbell rings. Bexs opens the door for London and Dallas.
Hi, come on in.
Dallas walks in cautiously behind her sister, keeping a vigilant eye out for the fuzzy white monster that is Bex's dog.
What's with the moving truck?
Demo's too heavy to fit in a car, and I wanted to take her to the store to get some furniture for her room. We were about to paint, but I'm guessing you guys have some news.
Yes, I can't figure out how to make the spaceship, but we have an idea. We're going to try to make one.
What? We can't steal a spaceship.
Normally I'd agree, but it's important that we get to the Universal Council to save reality.
I don't just mean morally, I mean we can't steal a spaceship. We won't be able to.
These are just humans we'd be dealing with. I bet we could do it.
We're more destructive than thievish. How close is the Universal Council anyway?
I don't know, 70, 80 light years?
70 light years? Even if we did steal a spaceship, we would all die before we made it there.
That's not necessarily true. Keepers have been known to live for thousands of years.
Bexs does not find this to be amusing, and looks at Demo until she says,
Clearly, though, we'll need a better spaceship. You have terrible TV graphics and slow internet, so frankly, I'm surprised you're even in space at all.
This earns Demo another look, this time from Dallas.
We know that NASA spaceships can't get us to the Universal Council, so we'd like to steal an alien one.
It's not very likely at all. But I was attacked by a Internet spirit, so maybe there are aliens on Earth. We figured since you were from the future, you might be able to tell us if there were some on Earth. Or if there were aliens in general.
Is that a serious question?
Yes. In the future, did you confirm the existence of aliens?
Isn't it kind of obvious? How can you not know there are aliens?
I don't know, we're hopelessly primitive and backwards.
Yeah, you guys are.
Did a spaceship crash in Roswell? Is it being kept in Area 51?
What are those?
People claim that a spacecraft crashed in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, and that Area 51 is covering it up and hiding the existence of aliens.
You guys do realize this is worse than me asking you who burned down Rome, right?
Sorry.
If you want, I can hack into this Area 51 place and see if they're keeping aliens there.
You can't just hack into Area 51.
I have a hacking function, so it's not going to be very hard at all for me to get inside.
What if it's too damaged to fly?
I'm up for the challenge. So, let's see. Oh, what do you know? There are aliens in Area 51.
You really hacked into Area 51?
Yeah, it wasn't very hard.
But you didn't even do anything.
I did plenty, Bexs. It's just I'm really fast and the system was no match for me. Let's see what we have here. There was a crash in Roswell back in 1947. They were able to get the ship into working condition, and the only problem is that the crash was caused when the ship ran out of fuel.
I can't believe there were really aliens in Roswell. I don't think I'll ever understand this world again.
At least you understood it once.
Dallas puts an arm around her sister, and London gives her a small smile.
We've located a spaceship. Too bad it's in the most secure place in the world.
Yeah, a computer is one thing, but an entire military base is another.
What if we never have to go there? What if we went to 1947 instead?
Next door, in the amazingly still-standing wreckage of a house, the group is all gathered to discuss going to 1947. Why they aren't in Bex's living room instead is a bit of a mystery. After they bring everyone up to speed, Nada says,
"We're supposed to go back to 1947 and steal a broken spaceship that we don't know how to fix, and we don't know how to fly."
I can fix it, and I can learn how to fly it. They've done an amazing job translating the handbook into English. They were able to figure out from the pictures and repairs what words correspond to what parts. If I had the manual, I could fill in the blanks.
Seriously?
It's really just a brute force thing, so it should only take a day at the most for me to make a decent translation.
Nada makes a thoughtful noise. Her baby sister sits cross-legged in the middle of the room. She seems more skeptical than Nada does.
That sounds all fine and good, but I can't make changes to the past anymore. I can, but not in such concrete ways. I think it had something to do with the anomalies, and the way that time was being arranged. Parts of the past were coming after parts of the future. If time flowed like that again, I could do it.
Do you know how to do that?
If I did, I'd have done it by now. But keep in mind, we'd still be changing the past, even if at some level we'd be going to the future.
We'd be going to the future in our own personal chronology, but in the past in a global one.
Zoe thinks for a second about what London just said.
Sounds about right, yeah. But I did this before. I went to the past and changed it. I think I know how we can do this. Paradoxes are made to keep time safe from breaking. If we go back in time and we don't change anything, we should be fine.
Nada crosses her arms and leans against the wall.
One big problem, sis. We're going back in time to take a spaceship. How will that not change time?
Only if we take it. If Lydia clones the spaceship and we take the clone back to the present and leave everything else intact, we won't make a concrete change to the past.
Time can be tricked?
That's mostly what the job is. Learning new ways to fool time and control it. If it works, we've got ourselves a spaceship. If it doesn't, we're just back at square one. Nothing to lose.
What if this is like our destiny to change time in the first place?
I hate to break it to you, Dallas, but your destiny is to die.
Dallas scowls.
You're so cynical.
Dallas could be right, but I'd like to think our destinies are changeable. Now, before we go to Roswell, you need to remember a few things. You may not be able to change anything on purpose, but you can change everything by accident. So do not be careless. Do not talk to anybody. Try to be as anonymous as possible. Every single action you take has consequences. Where you step, and even where you turn your eyes.
After Zoe's warning, Lydia encompasses them in a cyan sphere of energy, and Zoe takes them back to July 2nd, 1947, in Roswell, New Mexico. Somewhere, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. As Zoe recovers with a Pepsi, Dallas says,
This is so exciting. We're witnessing history.
I gotta be honest with you, it's not that exciting. Though if I ever do manage to get back to my own time, I promise I will credit each of you in my ancient Civ research.
Gee, thanks.
Dallas looks intently into the sky for a crashing UFO.
Where is it?
It didn't crash yet. At least, I hope not. We don't have a lot of time, and it would be great if the power was down before the UFO crashed.
On it.
In the distance is a lone house, which Demo and London move towards. Bexs wonders aloud.
You don't think anyone saw us, do you?
We can only hope not.
Dallas points to the sky and hops up and down.
There it is.
A blue sphere is flashing and teleporting short distances across the sky. It stops abruptly. The sphere becomes a spaceship that is plummeting from the sky directly towards them. The five yelp and scramble as far from the area as they can before it smashes violently into the ground, knocking them off their feet. The ground is scorched with small fires that die as the women gather themselves. They curiously approach the wreckage before them, a crumpled cylindrical mass with legs. Bexs hears a faint moaning.
Do you hear that?
Lydia listens for a moment before shaking her head.
I don't hear anything.
It's not important. I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything. But if we don't move, we could alter 70 years of human history.
Sorry, Princess.
Lydia selects the UFO with the remote. As she does this, Bexs stares at the ship, still convinced that she heard something. Pushing the thought aside, she produces a map from her back pocket and points to the lake several miles away.
The lake is this way.
She leads Dallas and Lydia into the darkness of the woods, the only source of light coming from the flashlights she and Dallas have.
I keep hearing that noise.
Zoe says we gotta ignore it and hurry up so we don't mess up 70 years of history.
I know, but I'm still kind of hearing it. And it kind of sounds like moaning.
It does.
Oh my god, the alien is still alive. We have to help him.
He's supposed to die here.
How do you know? Maybe Area 51 nurses him back to health. We're delaying his treatment by 3 hours.
They can't save an alien. They wouldn't know what to do.
How do you know?
They know nothing about alien anatomy. They'd probably just make things worse.
But
I don't want him to die. He already died in 1947, and he needs to stay dead.
Bexs doesn't want to admit that Lydia is probably right, as heartless as she sounded.
I hate this world. Someone should at least be with him.
What do you mean?
He's alone on a foreign planet, in the middle of nowhere. He's dying. And he's probably terrified. I'm going to make sure that he's comfortable at the very least.
Lydia places the ship on the ground so the curly-haired woman can enter through the damaged portion of the hull. Dallas takes the map and the lead. Lydia picks up the ship, and they continue on their way. Nearer to the crash site, just outside of the fence on the lone house, London and Demo are creeping around the yard, peering at the house.
I don't see any lights on anywhere.
Good, then we're not too late.
Boost me over and I'll unlock the fence for you.
I can climb a fence.
I don't doubt that. But if you're too heavy to fit in a standard car, I fear you'll break this fence.
It's all the titanium. I have an engine too and a battery. It's like 30% of my body weight at least.
I wasn't calling you fat,
Who said I was fat? Are you calling me fat, London?
Demo encroaches intimidatingly on London's personal space.
I wasn't calling you fat.
I'm just messing with you. Calm down.
Demo brings her hands together and kneels near the fence. She motions with her head for London to get on. She does so. Demo makes a big show of not being able to lift her.
And you called me fat.
Before London can respond, Demo flips her over the fence, and she lands roughly on her back. She dusts herself off and shoots Demo a glare, who, unable to smirk, raises her visible eyebrow up and down. London unlocks the gate to let the shorter woman inside. She sneaks towards the back door, and Demo lifts the shock of red hair from in front of her robot eye and closes her human one so she can look through the wall. She takes note of the couple sleeping in the master bedroom and the location of the basement. She drops her hair and strolls up beside London, who is busy picking the lock.
There are a man and woman inside, and the basement is right off of the kitchen.
The thunderous boom of the ship crashing fills the air.
Damn it!
The lights upstairs turn on.
Damn.
London pushes the door open.
Come on, hurry!
They go inside the kitchen, and London opens the basement door.
Go down, overload the power. I'm going to distract the family.
Are you sure?
Go!
Demo goes down the stairs, and London locks the door behind her. She darts towards the kitchen and slides under the table, and just a moment later, the lights click on. London watches a pair of feet cross into her line of vision and go over to the basement.
Where are you? Show yourself! Couldn't have locked yourself in.
The feet, let's call them Joe, go over to the back door. London crawls slowly to the other side of the table, closer to the living room.
Did you run, you coward?
Jo goes outside, and London emerges from the table. She fast walks into the living room, looking around briefly before running up the stairs. She kneels by the railing and looks to see Jo entering the living room, armed with a rifle.
I know you're in here. Where are you?
London slams the bathroom door and darts into the closet. Jo comes flying up the stairs. He cocks his rifle and opens the bathroom door.
Tricky little bastard.
Jo exits the bathroom, and his eyes fall on the closet. As he approaches it, London covers her mouth in an effort to silence her breathing. The lights all turn out.
What the There are two of you bastards, ain't there?
Jo enters the closet and reaches around.
Well, I've got one of you.
Jo grabs onto London's hair and pulls her towards him. He drags her out of the closet and pushes her in front of him and presses the rifle against her back.
Thought you could outsmart old Joe, eh? What are you doing here? Is it more than just you two?
When London doesn't say anything, Jo jabs her with the rifle.
I don't like asking twice, boy. Now you tell me who was with you, and you tell me now.
Realizing that she was mistaken for a boy due to her short hair, London clears her throat and deepens her voice.
I'm with one other person.
What was that loud crash I heard right around the time you and your friend showed up?
How would I know?
Alright, start walking. We're going to the basement.
Jo leads her to the basement. He stands a few steps back and points the rifle somewhere between London and the door.
Open it.
London obliges.
Alright, I got your friend at gunpoint. Show's over. I know you're down there, and you've got until the count of 10 to show yourself, or your boy here gets it. 10?
Demo crawls from under the stairs.
How about you fix my power?
I can't.
What do you mean you can't? What did you do to it?
It's sort of fried.
Oh, hell. Just get up here.
Demo hesitates and looks down at her feet instead.
Are you deaf or something? I said get up here. Move it.
Demo puts a foot on the first step.
Quit fooling around. When a man has a rifle, you best do as he says.
Demo increases the speed at which she comes up the stairs. When she becomes visible, Jo's eyes get big.
Holy!
He shoots Demo and she tumbles down the stairs. Jo then backs up quickly and aims the rifle at London.
What the hell was that?
Alien. Alien.
An alien? What's an alien doing with you?
Our ship crashed not far from here.
The sound of Demo's footsteps on the stairs catches Jo's attention momentarily before he points his rifle back at London.
Why ain't it dead? Why ain't it dead?
Your weapon probably just isn't that effective against us.
Jo backs away from London, panting nervously.
Why did you come here? What do you want?
We just came for electricity. We need it to repair our ship.
Demo emerges from the basement. Jo points his rifle at Demo, and she puts her hands up.
My friend would appreciate it if you lowered your weapon. We mean you no harm.
Jo clutches his weapon tightly and looks between the two, before slowly lowering it.
What are you gonna do now?
We are going to leave, and we are going to return home.
London gets closer to Demo and takes her arm.
Are you okay?
I'll live if that's what you mean.
The women back up towards the door. Once outside, they book it.
That went well.
Swimmingly.
Approximately 3 hours later, Dallas's flashlight shines on the lake. Nearly collapsing to her knees in relief, she exclaims,
Here it is.
Finally. Hey, Bexs, we're here.
Bexs emerges from the UFO, a somber expression on her face.
Didn't Demo say the spaceship crashed due to running out of fuel?
Yeah?
There's 2 gallons of fuel, and the instrument that looks like a fuel gauge was halfway to the top.
Peculiar.
So they must really have the fuel with them. They must be going on secret government space flights and stuff.
Why would they falsify private documents?
In case someone hacked them.
Only person who can even hack Area 51 is Demo, as she's not supposed to exist for thousands of years. I think they really believe that the ship crashed due to losing fuel.
I bet you they never found any fuel in that spaceship, and that's why they think that. I bet you we were here before, just like I said. It was our destiny.
I don't really get this time stuff, but that makes about as much sense as anything.
We have to make sure it's the right thing so we don't accidentally mess up time.
I'm not sure if that's true. We're not actually trying to mess up time. If we think this is what happened, we can do it, right?
Bexs simply shrugs.
I say we do whatever we need to do, because I think we were here before.
We need to be careful not to mess up time or make it revert back to the way it was before. I'm not sure about you two, but I am not making this trip again.
Dallas mutters.
Says the woman riding in the spaceship.
Let's take the alien out of the ship and then put the fuel of the mirror clone into the original.
The trio look expectantly at one another.
It's not like we have all day.
So go get the alien out of the ship.
Why me?
You have the remote.
So? You spent the last moments of his life with him. You've already seen him like that.
That doesn't mean I should have to move him.
Why don't we just play for it? Odds and evens. Odd one out has to move the alien. I mean, like, not the number, just...
We know what you mean.
The three form a triangle around each other and each hold out a hand. Lydia puts out a 1, Dallas a 2, and Bexs a 5.
Best 2 out of 3?
Bexs and Lydia obviously deny the request. I will spare you the gory details. Instead, we will return to the crash site, where Nada and Zoe have been sitting back to back for the past several hours.
See anyone?
Still nothing.
How did we get stuck with this job?
Zoe gives a half-hearted shrug. The tedium of the task drags on, and on, and on.
I see something.
The Chance sisters stand up. Nada grabs Zoe's hand and leads her to the trees, and they crouch behind them, looking back towards the crash site.
What is it? What do you see?
I saw 2 people running towards us. There might have been more people behind them, but I don't know.
I don't see anything.
Shh.
From the view behind the trees, 2 dark figures approach the crash site and look around, like they were expecting to see something.
I see them now.
Wait a second. I think that's just Demo in London.
Nada stands up to get a better view.
Yeah, it is.
Nada and Zoe return to the crash site.
How'd it go?
I got shot and fell down a flight of steps. How'd it go here?
You got shot? I told you guys not to get seen.
We couldn't help it. They woke up from the crash.
Do you have any idea what you've just done? Time is very fragile, and you've just caused a chain reaction of events that could drastically alter the present.
We couldn't help it. Nada, what time is it?
11:30 p.m.
They're probably just getting to the lake now.
So, I'm guessing that car doesn't belong to them, then.
A cop car, not too far in the distance, is driving towards the crash site. The 4 women sprint to the trees and crouch behind them.
In the future, if you're watching a spot, it's best not to be standing in plain sight in the first place.
Duly noted.
The car pulls up next to the crater left by the crash. Joe and the sheriff climb out and examine the area. London closes her eyes and relays the thoughts to the others.
See? I told you it wasn't a load of crock. That's still to be seen, Joe. Aliens? In Roswell? You ever seen a crater of this size? What about this debris, Sheriff? You recognize any of the stuff? No. Alright, shit. I'll radio this in, but I'm telling you this ain't aliens.
London opens her eyes.
That's not good. How are we supposed to get them to find the spaceship now?
More importantly, how are we going to get out of here without being seen?
That ship already sailed to the house. Just let me think for a bit. If we could get in their car, we could drive it to the lake and leave a trail behind for them to follow.
That solves our problem of them finding the alien. But how do we even get the car in the first place?
Zoe takes Nada's flashlight and gives it to London.
With a little bit of distracting.
After discussing their plan, Nada goes several yards away from the group. So that they can coordinate, London is reading her thoughts.
I find it a bit creepy that you're reading my thoughts. You're probably thinking something sarcastic. And now you're wondering what the point of this is, right? I'm in position, so ready when you are.
A light shines onto the sheriff, and he shields his eyes.
Hello?
The first light turns off, and another one shines onto the sheriff. Joe cocks his rifle and stands next to him.
Show yourselves!
London speaks in Vietnamese.
Greetings, creatures of Earth!
It's the aliens.
The sheriff draws his gun, but Joe puts a hand on it and shakes his head.
Bullets ain't no good against them.
What are we supposed to do then? Just stand here like sitting ducks?
I spoke to them before. I know they can speak English. Hey, aliens! I know that you can speak English!
I do not want to. I am speaking Vietnamese now.
Demo stands in front of her flashlight, bathing the sheriff and Joe in the darkness of her shadow. London continues to speak in Vietnamese.
I am not saying anything remotely threatening.
Demo's shadow starts to get bigger, and the sheriff and Joe get closer together.
I don't care what you say, Joe, I'm shooting!
The sheriff fires at Demo's shadow, causing her to jump. But then she just keeps getting larger and larger.
Your bullets have no effect on me.
That's just his shadow. You ain't gonna hit it anyway.
The flashlights shine into their eyes, and they cover them. The sound of the car starting up reaches their ears, and they turn to see the cop car peeling away.
Hey!
The sheriff runs after the car and tries to shoot at it. Once it's too far, he throws his hat down.
Damn it!
The sheriff pulls out his radio.
Aliens just hijacked my car and they're headed west from my previous location. What? No, I'm serious! Get your asses down here!
Somewhere between the crash site and the lake where Dallas, Lydia, and Bexs are walking, the cop car pulls up in front of them, and Nada jumps out.
Hey, guys.
Sheesh, Nada. I thought you were the police.
Sorry about that. Leave the spaceship here for a second. We have to get back to the lake and make an extra alien body.
What?
We have to. London and Demo were spotted, so we have to make it look like 2 aliens were there instead of 1.
What if they find this?
They're way behind. We got time. We've got a car.
Nada jerks her head to the car, and the others all climb in. She then speeds towards the lake. After creating the second alien corpse, Nada drives back to the crash site behind the trees where the others are still hiding. They come over to the car.
We have everything. All of the flashlights.
Dallas and Bexs show their flashlights to London.
The map?
Yes, we have everything. Now let's go already.
The 4 climb out of the car, and Lydia places the spaceship on the ground. They all gather around it, and Lydia encompasses them in a cyan sphere of energy. Zoe transports them through time and space into a meadow in Atlanta.
That was fun.
Lots of fun. Let's never have that much fun again.
Agreed.
I can't believe we actually got an alien spaceship.
It is pretty incredible.
The women look at the spaceship with admiration. A crippled mass of gray metal, roughly 4 times the size of a semi, and the shape of a cylinder with legs.
How long will it be before this is up and running?
I don't know. I've got to finish the instructions, which should take me about a day or 2.
Do you think we messed up time any?
Let's see.
Dallas opens up her phone and looks up Roswell, 1947.
Not much, it seems. The spaceship was found by the police and turned over to the military. The military claims to have recovered a weather balloon. The man who first reported the alien, Joe Carter, says that the aliens were capable of shape-shifting and that they had broken into his home. He even shot at one, which was immune to the effects of his bullet. He believes that there were multiple ships and multiple aliens, some of which have escaped the planet, and others which still live among us.
Dallas tries a more general search for aliens.
Huh. You guys remember how the stereotypical alien looks, right? Big gray head and bug eyes.
Yeah.
Dallas shows the phone to the others. The alien has red hair and an antenna. It has one giant eye and no mouth at all.
Congratulations, Demo. You've just become the basis for aliens everywhere.
Back in 1947, just a few days after the ship crash, Joe and his wife are packing when a knock comes at their door. Joe goes downstairs to answer it.
What do you want?
A man in a trench coat with a hat draped over his face stands on the porch.
You've become a laughingstock, and the sheriff lost his job.
Look, if you ain't...
You two know what you saw, and instead of being commended for it, you're being ridiculed. There's more to the story than what meets the eye.
What do you mean there's more to this story?
Do you wonder why the spaceship was found near the lake rather than by the crater? Someone moved that spaceship, Joe.
Didn't they try to fly it and wrecked it again?
The man in the trench coat chuckles.
No. What I'm about to tell you stays between us.
Alright, what do you think happened?
What happened was time travelers came back in time to steal the spaceship.
A week ago, I tell you that was the stupidest thing I ever heard. But an alien was in my house, and I shot him. So maybe, just maybe, you ain't crazy.
I'm glad we could see eye to eye.
The man in the trench coat hands Joe a card.
You have some important work to do, my friend.
The 6th episode comes to a close. Who is the mysterious man in the trench coat? The next episode is Mandy Suit is the shit. Don't miss it. Additional voices for this episode provided by Malaki Reed, Jason, Shay-Ki, and Kossler.